From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It was another gorgeous day across mid-Michigan. Satellite and radar continue to show dry weather across the entire state, with widespread sunshine currently in place across mid-Michigan. Temperature-wise, current readings in the upper 40s to low 50s. We're at 50 degrees in Mason, Jackson, and Hillsdale, 49 for our current temperature here in Lansing. We will stay dry for the rest of the evening and overnight tonight, with cloud cover beginning to increase. Tomorrow, we do have a few more chances for precipitation beginning to move in. 6 News at 5 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5.
Confusion tonight among federal workers about whether they're required to respond to an email from Elon Musk, who is heading up the president's efforts to slash the size of the government. It's our top story at 5. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Sherry Jones is off tonight. Musk wants 5 bullet points from federal employees outlining what they did last week and said failure to reply would result in them losing their jobs. It's just the latest job-cutting efforts from Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
A group of federal workers impacted by recent layoffs took to Capitol Hill Tuesday to plead their case to lawmakers.
We're going to head up to the first office, and you're going to be able to tell your story, and then we're going to go to the next office, and then we'll just keep going on.
Soon, more former co-workers could be joining their ranks, as some of the president's advisors insist federal employees must comply with Elon Musk's ultimatum to send 5 accomplishments from the past week or risk being fired.
People need to be accountable. You need to be able to answer the question. If you couldn't answer it yesterday, you have till today. But the reality is accountability is real.
But there have been conflicting messages from the Trump administration, including a letter from the Office of Personnel Management saying agency heads may exclude personnel from this expectation at their discretion, but also agencies should consider any appropriate actions regarding employees who fail to respond.
The agency heads will determine the best practices for their employees at their specific agencies.
Some Republican lawmakers continue to support the sweeping cuts from President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency as they push to slash the size of government.
They're going line by line and trying to make sure the money is being spent well. So that's exactly what they ought to be doing.
And some lawmakers have downplayed videos from recent congressional town halls showing constituents upset about the cuts.
Some of the people that hijacked those town halls are happy with the bloated status quo.
Republican Congressman Rich McCormick, who faced pushback last week, now says the mass firings should slow down to study their impact. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Well, the White House says more than 1 million federal employees have responded to Musk's email outlining the work they did last week. Federal workforces across the U.S., though, are continuing to fear for their jobs under increasing pressure from DOGE. But how is the pressure affecting daily work life? And is the approach taken by Elon Musk an ethical one? Zach Priest spoke with experts today who voiced their opinions. Zach.
Human resource experts are worried about DOGE's approach to the federal workforce. And I spoke to an expert today at Michigan State who says she sees some poor leadership. Professor Tara Barrand, a professor of human resources at Michigan State, says a leader should communicate clearly and set fair, clear expectations. She says Musk's team did the exact opposite. She warned the best workers might just leave, feeling disrespected, and says this could lead to shutdowns. And she points out that shutdowns at an organization like the VA could be a major issue. Barrand also told me these jobs are more complex than just 5 bullet points. On top of this, the stress these workers are under may lead to a less productive workforce.
All of this is essentially a distraction and a tax on people's attention and their emotional resilience. Over time, all of that emotional turmoil builds up and you can see really severe health effects. I mean, all of that stress builds into burnout.
Trump said yesterday that people might not answer these emails because they, quote, don't even exist. But Barron says the government's HR office already has performance evaluation procedures in place. Back to you.
Thank you, Zach. Staying at MSU, more than 400 Michigan State University Extension employees are now represented by a union. According to the group, its members voted overwhelmingly in favor of unionizing and are now gearing up to bargain their first contract with the school. The union says the employees are aiming to negotiate better working conditions that, quote, reflect their contributions to the university and the public. The Jackson Fire Department has tested and unveiled a new drone that is meant to help first responders. Crews from the city of Jackson and Summit Township will use the drone for firefighting, investigations, searches, and rescues. The department says it's another important tool to help them keep people safe. It says Industrial Steel Trading, a Jackson-based automotive supplier, donated the drone, and the company also covered the cost of training for 3 firefighters. In Lansing today, the House voted to ban non-disclosure agreements for lawmakers and their staffs. The bill would prohibit them from entering into NDAs based on information the lawmakers received while in their official capacity. The bills received bipartisan support, and they now move on to the Senate. It would need to be approved there before going to Governor Gretchen Whitmer's desk. Congressman Tim Walberg is under fire tonight for comments he made about a voting rights bill during a town hall meeting last Thursday. Taryn Simmons has more on what Walberg said that has him under scrutiny tonight. Taryn.
Siobhan, Walberg discussed the SAVE Act, a Republican bill that would require voters to provide proof of U.S. citizenship in order to register to vote. At a town hall in Monroe County last week, someone asked Walberg if he thought the act would lead to voter suppression. In response, Walberg held up his driver's license, talked about how people need to show ID for various things, suggesting that a license would be enough. Although the Michigan Secretary of State's office says a license isn't proof of citizenship and that people would need to show a passport or birth certificate, and a resident responded to Walberg saying some people can't afford a, quote, $200 passport, to which Walberg replied, well, then they shouldn't be voting. Walberg has since responded saying he has long championed election security. If someone cannot present a driver's license, birth certificate, passport, or proof of citizenship, then they should not be voting in our elections. As I stated previously, you do not need a passport to vote under the SAVE Act, though he says proof of citizenship is required. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, who runs Michigan elections, says she opposes the SAVE Act because it would block millions of eligible citizens from casting their votes. She also says the bill makes it harder for people including senior citizens, college students, and tribal citizens. Siobhan.
All right, Taryn, thank you. The state is recognizing a Mid-Michigan teacher as one of its regional teachers of the year. Becky Menor is a Spanish teacher at Grand Ledge High School, and now she's a finalist for the 2025-26 Michigan Teacher of the Year, along with 9 other educators who received the honor.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We started off our Tuesday with a couple of light sprinkles across mid-Michigan, but after that activity left, we were able to very quickly dry things out and quickly return to sunny conditions and spring-like temperatures, giving us another gorgeous day, even better than what we saw yesterday. So to recap, yesterday, high temperatures mainly were in the upper 40s across mid-Michigan. We only had 2 locations, Charlotte and Owasso, make it up to a high in the 50s. Today, however, everyone saw a high temperature in the 50s. The cooler spots, Lansing and Howell, only made it up to a high of 51. 54 degrees was our high temperature in Jackson, Hillsdale, and Coldwater. In the mid-50s off to our southeast in both Ann Arbor and Adrian. Still some very lovely conditions outside this evening, so go outside maybe for a nice evening walk or just to simply enjoy the sunshine and warm weather. We're currently at 49 degrees here in Lansing. It is a bit breezy at times. Current winds 15 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest. Not a cloud in sight on our camera over in Grand Ledge. We're at 48 degrees, that peak wind gust of 21 miles per hour. Similar situation with the lack of cloud cover in Jackson. We are right at that 50-degree mark. Again, a couple of light sprinkles earlier this morning didn't really produce much in the way of precipitation. Notice in the rain gauge only 1/100th of an inch of rain thus far. And in Hillsdale, 3/100ths of an inch of precipitation from this morning. Temperatures currently in the upper 40s with that peak wind at 22 miles per hour. Satellite and radar shows dry weather across the entire state, but we do have another area of low pressure developing to our west near the Dakotas, and this system will be bringing us additional chances for precipitation starting tomorrow. So PrecisionCast for the rest of the evening, We will be dry. Cloud cover will begin to increase overnight tonight, and we could have a couple of patches of fog across the area as we start off our Wednesday. Precipitation will begin to move in right around 8-9 o'clock Wednesday morning. We could start off with a very brief period of a wintry mix of rain and snow, but temperatures will quickly warm, will quickly transition over into scattered rain showers for the bulk of the day. As the system begins to exit to our east, it is going to be bringing some cooler temperatures to the area. So even though we have highs in the low 40s yet again on Thursday, temperatures above the surface will be below freezing, and that could allow for a couple of wet snowflakes to mix in with the rain showers that we have in the forecast throughout the day. So overnight tonight, again, increase in cloud cover. A couple of patches of fog will be possible as we start off our Wednesday, and it is going to be a lot cooler in comparison to where we have been for the past few mornings, with overnight lows falling down into the upper 20s. Rain showers in the forecast as we move throughout our Wednesday. Temperatures yet again topping out near 40 degrees, and the 6-day forecast looking lovely as ever. Again, a few rain and snow showers going to be possible on Thursday. It will be very widely scattered across the area. We dry things out on Friday, a high of 46 degrees, briefly cooling things down for the weekend with high temperatures topping out below freezing, but we have additional 40s in the forecast and maybe a high in the upper 40s next Tuesday. A couple of our models, Siobhan, say I might be a little bit too cool with my high temperature that day.
Oh.
So it could be a bit warmer.
Wow.
I'll give you some hope there.
I mean, it's still February. We're seeing temps in the 50s. Like, it's looking good. The trajectory that we're on seems positive.
Yeah, so hopefully we can keep that upward trend going.
All right, Kendall, thank you. Well, here at TV6, we are getting ready to celebrate our 75th anniversary this year, and we could really use your help. So if you have any pictures or videos from back in the day, we have set up a folder for you to upload your memories at WLNS.com/75. We would love to use them on the air, and if you're willing to talk about it on TV, let us know and we'll try to get a hold of you. Well, still to come tonight,